We give heroes welcomes to heroes who've served in the military, but I think the veterans would call you a hero for what you do for them. So would you give a a hero welcome to Tom Underdown today? Come on, Tom, and say a word to us. Come on, sir. What a joy to have you here, sir. Wow. Wow, we are delighted you're here. Share a little bit about what God's using you to do and how your vision even maybe got started.
Yeah. Well, so like George said, I'm president of Fairways Warriors, and we are a ministry that serves veterans. And I never served personally, but my father was career Army, and he served in World War II, Vietnam, and Korea and Vietnam. So I really understand what sacrifice he made. Also, I had the honor to be an IT salesman, and my customer was the Army. About 5 years ago, I was flying to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and the sergeant was sitting next to me, and he was on a 2-week leave from Afghanistan, and he shared with me how he just lost 2 of his soldiers, and 2 of them had lost limbs, and I just really touched me, and I think God really led me to do something. So I got the names of the families and got his name, and I called I got one of my friends to go down and visit one of the soldiers, and I called the family of the other one. I talked to the mother, and she said, you know, Tom, he's going to be okay physically. I mean, he's going to get a prosthesis, he's going to be okay physically, but he's never going to be okay mentally again. And I said, wow, I mean, I've got to do something. And I found out about a golf program called Operation Warrior Golf at Fort Bragg that was started by a college student. And I got a little bit involved in that, and I said, well, shoot, if she could do that in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I could do that in Orlando. And God really has provided for my ministry. And that was like 4 years ago we started, and I got some friends together, and they were all Christians. So our mission is to help combat wounded warriors with their mental, physical, and spiritual rehabilitation. And we feel like the spiritual is the most important. And God just has provided me also with a wife that really complements our ministry, because I'm not a detail person. She takes care of all the details and keeps me on task, and I'm more of a vision guy. But what we found out was when I started working with our warriors, we have clinics every Saturday, and we have the warriors coming out, and it's not just for them, it's for their family members, children, spouses, brothers, I don't care, anybody that supports them comes out, and we provide professional golf instruction, and we go out and play golf, and then we go and have a meal. And what I found out is talking to these guys was that when you are in the military, and you usually get in young, so you have a support infrastructure. You got a squad, you got battle buddies, you got a first sergeant, then you get deployed, and you're in combat theater, you get injured, and then you get medically discharged, and you're left out in the general population all by yourself. So almost all of the guys I've talked to said the exact same thing. When they got discharged, they'd go home, they'd sit inside, they would isolate themselves. Most of them have post-traumatic stress, so they're very depressed. They have traumatic brain injury. They're angry. They don't know what to do with their lives, and they don't like going out into the public. They don't feel like civilians can relate to them. And so they commit suicide, and at an alarming rate. And Jordan made a good point about the number of suicides per day. But if you go back and listen to statistics, 59,209 military personnel were killed during Vietnam. 160,000 Vietnam vets that committed suicide. So that's almost 3 times. So if you do the math, 22 a day, 8,000 a year in 20 years, that's 160,000. History is repeating itself. We have to do something to slow that down. This program is definitely doing that. We are changing and saving lives. I've got hundreds of stories about how these guys probably would have committed suicide. They've come out, they get reconnected, and the camaraderie that you have with another combat vet, I don't care what branch of service you're with, is just incredible. I've seen relationships grow, and we do things, we become a family. So it's not just about golf. We help with jobs, we help with counseling. I got 2 work projects going on right now, and also we're breaking ground next Tuesday for a new home for a combat vet. So golf's just a vehicle to get everybody together and do this. Our big vision, though, is to buy a golf course in Orlando, call it the Warrior Golf Club, and have it run 100% by combat wounded warriors and for them. And I've got the president of Hilton Global Sales is actually is on board with us, and he's trying to help us raise the money for it. And when I talked about the plans, and he got it, he said, Tom, he said, you know, the golf course is nice, but it's that clubhouse that's the most important part of this. And he's right. Because this is a place where these guys can go every single day. I've got so many of my guys who are 100% disabled. They have a caretaker that takes care of them, usually the wife, and they sit at home. And I was thinking one guy in particular, Dennis, and he sits home and he's having all kind of issues at the Warrior Golf Club. He could go there. He could volunteer a couple hours. He could play golf, and then he could hang out with his buddies. I mean, it would change, the quality of life would be drastically increased for that. So what I'd like to ask you to do is to pray for that, to happen, pray for my ministry. Like I said, we've got a branch in San Antonio. We're about to open up Jacksonville, New England, and I'm looking at probably Atlanta and maybe South Florida as well. So just continue to pray for me, and thank you for having me today. And all you veterans, God bless you. Thank you for your service. And we all know that, you know, freedom is not free. God bless USA.